Hi, I'm David Kerr, and welcome back to Rappahannock Issues. I'm here with Tom Coen, and we're talking about election 2016. Now, I've already said that I'm pretty much agreeing with the conventional wisdom that this election is just about over, that Trump is way behind and unlikely to make it up. Tom has a few other scenarios which are a little bit more in-depth, and he doesn't quite take that view.
Well, I mean, I can see one of three scenarios. One is the conventional wisdom. I mean, everything we learn in government school and in our masters and whatnot. You know, Clinton's got the money, the organization, better messaging as far as staying on it, where Trump is not. Whereas the issues-wise, Trump is sort of doing a little bit better. But I can see the conventional wisdom winning, but I also could see a scenario where it is a close vote one way or the other. I mean, right now they're saying she's going to get 333 electoral votes to Trump's 205. You know, you get it by, that's why national polls doesn't really matter. What you want is state by state. And if you look at the polls that are out today, Pennsylvania's close, North Carolina's close, Colorado is now close, which it wasn't. Florida, they're tied, and Nevada, Trump's ahead. So if you sort of take the basic states where they're going, and we go on the premise that Ohio is secure, which seems to be the bet. And Florida, he's campaigning an awful lot and then getting a crowds of 20,000 people the other day and 15,000 in another place. And early Republican voting is up in Florida. So therefore, if he gets Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, he's at 263 electoral votes. And Clinton's at 263 electoral votes, with only Nevada and Utah sort of hanging out there, and the one district in Maine. And so whoever would win those two states would end up winning the White House because they would get over the 270. And it's theoretically possible if they sort of split each of them, because both of those states are worth 6 votes. One gets Nevada, one gets Utah. Nobody gets the 270, and so you go to the House of Representatives. But you also can see that if the polling is, as you were saying, that maybe the polling's skewed, or maybe they're not calling the right people, or people in the last weeks of the campaign, the Trump message sort of gets out there. For example, Obamacare premiums are going up 25% or 22%. Right. And there was a good response to his his speech in Gettysburg about his sort of contract with America. If he is able to turn that around, he could pick off at Pennsylvania, and maybe some other states. So you could see a scenario where Clinton wins big, somebody wins narrow, and maybe Trump wins comfortably at this point in time, because it is so in flux. But what's not in flux is sort of what's going to happen after the election. I mean, the day after, November 9th, David, what do you see America being?
I see it being relieved, for one thing. A certain group of the population, regardless of who, well, I won't say regardless of who wins, will be very glad this election's over. It's been one of the most painful, overextended elections I have ever seen or participated in. Regardless of opinion, it's lasted too long, and it's caused too much distress. If Donald Trump wins, I think the media will be apoplectic. I think a lot of elected officials will be beside themselves, and will have no idea of what to make of a Donald Trump presidency. He has really left very few indications about what he will do in terms of concrete proposals. He's not a man that goes for issue papers or say for the Supreme Court, where he's made some preliminary announcements about who he would choose. That he's been very definite about. I think they'd be, I don't know how much benefit of the doubt they would give him. Usually you give the winner some benefit of the doubt. You say he's a terrible candidate, but he can rise to the occasion. I don't know if he will start with anything like that.
Okay, and Clinton?
That worries me a bit. Now, Donald Trump has backed off quite a bit on his comment saying that he wouldn't accept the result of the election. First of all, as somebody in his campaign said, it doesn't matter whether he accepts it or not. It's simply the results of the election, which probably was a lot of ado about nothing. I'm concerned that some of his voters will be angry, that they will feel like they are once again being ignored. These are not bad people. They're just, a lot of them just feel terribly marginalized. And I feel like they might react in less than positive ways. And I don't know if it's violence. Probably not. Most people talk a good game, but really aren't like that. But I think there might be quite a bit of disenfranchisement in places that where it'll just continue to be a seething anger.
Well, and I sort of think it's interesting, the whole and not accepting results, because we studied politics. After the 2000 election, there was a great deal of that Bush stole the election, and because Jeb Bush was in charge of Florida and there were problems in Florida, they stole it. And then in 2004, the Democrats were claiming the Republicans stole it because a number of the voting machines in this country were made in Texas by a Texas company, and so therefore, there's always
I
been.
buy that. Yeah.
Quite honestly, I agree with you. If Trump were to win, the Democrats have spent X number of months vilifying him and saying he's a racist and a bigot and evil. It's very hard to see them sitting down and saying, let's talk about the budget now. The Republican leadership has likewise run to the hills rather than embrace him.
And just to interrupt for just a second, politely, it's just to say Donald Trump's reaction to winning would be very important.
Well, that'd be interesting. But
yeah.
But the Republican leadership, it'll be interesting if they stay in, because they may be kicked out by their voters, by the members of the House. But they'll work with Trump. On Clinton, I cannot see a single way that Clinton unites the country. I don't see a single way that she can bring us together and unify us and do something. Speech isn't going to do it. We all know the Clintons, whether it's the definition of is or the business of, I'm not going to call it an FBI investigation an investigation. I'll say it's a security review. Giving a speech won't do it. I can't see anything to heal the country. And we have less than 2 minutes left, not to say it, but you have a large chunk of this country that believes that fundamentally the system doesn't work. Black Lives Matter don't believe that the legal system and the judicial system and the police system works. The Bernie Sanders people don't believe that the economic system works and Congress works, or now they know the Democratic Party was out to get them. And then the Trump voters don't believe the media works and our system works. And so you have a large segment of this country that does not believe the basic elements of our country work. And that's something you need a president to sort of unite us to. And I don't think either of these people have those skills.
I tend to agree, and as much as I'm a Democrat and I'm going to vote that way in 2 weeks from now, I see the division still just as strong, and regardless of how it comes out, they bother me that there is such a distrust of basic American institutions. And I don't think that they are fundamentally broken. I think the people working in them need to do better and need to be more honest and more straightforward. And until that happens, we won't make any progress. And I don't think it'll be this election. It might be 4 years from now.
Well, and we don't want you to wait 4 years from now to come back and see us, especially because on Tiki Live you can see us, and where our viewership has jumped up by 6,300%. We are now on channel 42 on Tiki Live. We thank all of you for tuning in online and for watching us, and come back and see Rappahannock Issues. Yes, very nice job there. Yes. I still think that you should just gird up your loins and accept the fact that Clinton is evil, and Trump will get assassinated by a Secret Service agent before he takes office.
Now, I know that you stay up late reading those sites, but...